to another vlog. I took a week off. I just did not feel like talking to a camera for a little bit. So yes, there's been a week gap. I'm sure no one has noticed. If you are unfamiliar, I am Jess. I run a prosthetic brand called Jess Effects, so making silicone prosthetics and molds for makeup artists in the film and TV industry. These are my behind the scenes vlogs from my home workshop in southwest London, and just kind of following along what I do each week. It's been perpetually busy all year. I feel like it's been non-stop the last 5 years of my life since starting this shop, but I do this full time. I used to work in film and TV as a prosthetic makeup artist, but I think the last time I worked on set was 2022, when I did the latest Ant-Man film, Ant-Man Quantumania. I don't know if that's its full title, but I tried juggling both then, working on Ant-Man in the week, doing the shop on the weekends. In fact, I think I'd had the shop closed because I couldn't juggle it, and I just had it open to doing the wholesale orders for the makeup stores, so that's what I would do on the weekend. And after 3 or 4 months of that, it became clear I needed to change one or the other, and I decided to go to the shop, which I'm very glad I did, because yeah, it's kind of changed everything for me a little bit. So yes, I took last week off. I just couldn't really be bothered to talk to a camera. I did film some bits, so I'll slot them in now. I have a huge amount of orders that have come in over the weekend, which I'll show you in a minute, and I have to get started on that wholesale order that I talked about last week. So yes, come with me and I'll show you the board. This is what we're looking at. So this is just the 3 stab wounds I need to run from the new mould. I'll show you that mould in a second, but remember I showed you the sculpt last week. I changed up that sculpt to make the wound a little bit deeper, and I'm going to run 3 of those. That order has to go out. The moulds are already done, and then this is what's come in. So these all came in through my website or through Etsy. This one at the end to Australia is quite large because it's a variety of different things and some are multiples, so that may not get done today. I'm not going to worry too much about that one. That literally came in last night, so it is the last priority anyway. But hopefully I can get the rest out and then get that done tomorrow, or finished tomorrow and sent tomorrow. But the rest I'd love to post today. And then this is the wholesale order for Pam. I think I showed you in last week's video, but there's a variety of things. And then these are molds. So yes, I need to get on with that now. This is the new stab wound mold. And I did that yesterday actually, moulded that so it was ready because I needed 3 pieces out of that today, so there wouldn't have been time to mould it first this morning. This is what I've got set up to run first, so I'll catch you in a little bit. Okay, still a bit hot, but it's much cooler this week already. It is nearly 2:30, it's 2:20, and I've got all the orders done that are going out today. So my phone, I've put it in its tripod back to front for some reason, so I'm used to looking at the camera at that end, but it's over here, so apologies if my eyes are all over the place. Right, I wanted to quickly show you the stab wound for the custom order that I was working on last week. If you haven't seen last week's vlog, this might mean nothing to you, this might be a bit confusing, but I made a stab wound, I ran a piece from it, wasn't happy, so I re-sculpted it to make it deeper, and now this is what I've ended up with. So hopefully, if I hide my face, it will focus. Can you see that? And then in comparison, I don't know if I can do this, but hopefully. So you can see it is much deeper. And I think that's going to work way better for them. It's going to have more impact. I'm going to send them the ones I'd run 2 of the original style already. I'm just going to send that to them in case they can use them, because it's in the skin tone they wanted, and it's basically pretty much the same measurements except not as deep. Those pieces are no use to me now, so they might as well have them just in case they need extras, or they can use them to practice the colouring or something on there. The wholesale order has been picked up by DHL. Often DHL come to me first, I think. They get here like sometimes even before 9. 9 is meant to be the earliest pickup. So I was kind of hoping that would happen, because then I know it's gone and I'm not going to miss them. Until a courier picks up, I have that like niggle that I might miss the door, and especially as it gets later towards post office time, I worry about, even though my partner Sean would be here, I worry about him missing the door and it not getting picked up. But anyway, they have come. I did have a couple of deliveries this morning, and the first one I sort of just assumed it would be DHL. So I bent down in the porch to pick it up as I opened the door and realised it wasn't him, so I quickly stood up again, and then later realised it looked like I was doing him a nice bow. So yeah, that's embarrassing. But that's gone now. I haven't actually run any of the pieces for the new wholesale order, because just Monday. Mondays are always the busiest day, because there's a build-up of orders that have come in over the weekend, because obviously I don't work at the weekend. I don't make anything up, so I often have a pile waiting to do, which was also the case today, and I've just got them all packaged up apart from those ones I just showed you. So I need to do, in fact you can see the haphazard pile behind me there. I need to do all my postage, and then I'm going to take them to the post office, hopefully leave in an hour latest, but before if I can. Then when I come back, I think I'll put on a run from the wholesale order, and I've got some bits and pieces to clear up on my desk. I've got a bunch of Bondo moulds that I need to trim and put into stock. And I think that might be it for today. I always do this, I talk too long and then I'm in the rush to the post office. So I'm going to go and get all this finished, and I'll pop back on later, or see you tomorrow. Something weird yesterday. I filmed this big order for you, and I was looking at it late and I realised I had missed off the last 2 items, which were 2 of the tibial compound fractures and fire burns, and then those lacerations have come in last night, so it's a bit easier today, just those 2 orders to do, and then get on with wholesale. I have ordered a new spray gun for my cat plastic, just from Amazon. Not very expensive, maybe £25. Just because mine was kind of too gummed up now. It wasn't really giving me a nice spray anymore. So yeah, I thought I'd replace it. This isn't one I've tried before, but I tend to go for just affordable ones, because I do like to replace them at least once a year, sometimes twice a year, depending on how they're performing. So yeah, it looks exactly the same as my last one pretty much. I like these spray guns, not only because I get a lot out of them, but because I can get these huge tanks on top and I don't have to keep refilling my cat plastic as I'm going along. It's all about efficiency, because I churn out so many pieces at once. It needs to be big. That Australian order is done. I was slightly delayed because I kind of misread what I'd written on the board, I guess, and I'd done one too few of something, so I just made the extra piece. And yeah, there's lots of lacerations. These are a couple of swellings as well. There is the radiation burn set, which is this one. There's 3 pieces to that, but they don't all sit on the same board. So I've combined it with the fire burns set, which are these ones. Everything is in buttercream shade. These are the ones I accidentally only made one of. It's the medium wounds set. And then there's those tibial shaft compound fractures, which are really big and heavy. But yes, I don't sell a huge amount of them because they're quite expensive, but that is ready to go off today. I don't want to linger too long because some of this is gory, but I keep all my reference photos on here. So recently I say this week, I started doing some sculpts based on shingles, which I will show you a little bit of. I can't remember if I filmed some of the sculpting. Then I'm also looking at, these are hives, so I've got some patches of them going on. I like these ones where they're all joined up. But yeah, this iPad has all my reference images. Or I try and keep up with any reference images I have, putting them on here so they're all in one place. Yeah, there's some burns. But yeah, I collect things all year round, and then when I get a chance I can go look. So these are more shingles pictures. It's going to be interesting to apply. I'm doing them as bondos because they are quite little. But as you can see, a lot of the redness is around the outside. Even on these, where it's not as white, it is sort of more yellowy translucent. And you're getting the pink because it's kind of coming through, a little bubbly blister effects. But anyway, yeah, I'll show you some of the sculpts. Just thought I'd show you my setup. And yeah. So this is the state of my current compressor. You can see it is quite worse for wear. It stopped working a while ago. If you're a long time watcher of Studio Vlogs, like from back in the Patreon days of Studio Vlogs, you probably saw me take this apart, and basically some of the cat plastic had leaked in and it had caught in the fan, so it wasn't running as fast, and I cleaned it and it was working, but it's always been a bit slower, so I haven't since then kind of kept it clean. As you can tell, I've just been running it, and I think now is time it needs replaced. The floor is disgusting. I'm going to try and get this out and clean this whole area because I have bought a new compressor to go in there to see if it makes much difference to how my spray gun is behaving. I bought a new spray gun too. I'll go into it more face to face. I'll discuss this, but let's get this out and get the new one in, and yeah, give this area because it's disgusting. As you can see, the problem is silicone like falls on the floor and gets stuck, and then it needs an actual scrape, but it's hard to get to it with all the cables and the things, so I'm going to do the whole area. So this is what I've ordered. I don't know, Bimson Power. It had decent enough reviews and it wasn't too expensive, and because I didn't know how much better I'd get, I went for something cheaper. We'll see. It might be a huge mistake, but I'll keep upgrading if it's not great. But all I just need is some decent air, so it shouldn't need to be top of the range. I'm using it with a big old spray gun, not particularly fine work, so as long as I can get decent misting spray out of my spray gun, then this will be fine. Let's get out of the box and have a look. It seems to be a very similar setup to my old one, which I have had twice now. The first one died. I can't remember what the first reason was. It just cut out one day, and it cut out at the busiest time of the year, so I had a panic and I just replaced it with the same thing, and I have really enjoyed using it. It's nice. It's a shame I've killed this one. This time it was my fault, but I'm not going to throw it away. I'm going to store it down under this desk, and one day when I get time I will try and clean it up. Ignore the hissing from the gun. I'm also using this light as my stand to avoid any dripping in it again this time. Yeah, that's just the air coming out because I gave it a test and I've still got liquid in there, so I don't want to release all the air from there. But yes, I might put a mat under here so I don't end up with a messy floor again. I mean, it's still messy, but it's there. Yeah, it's nice. And that's it on. I can tell by the sound that definitely the old one was not spinning as fast as it should. So I need to clear up this whole area at some point, but I'm going to do some work. It's Sunday. But I'll talk to you more about this in a bit. Right, I've just taken these out of the dehydrator. I didn't have it on. I just used it as a safe place to store them again. It's Sunday now, by the way. Yesterday is when I put them in. I don't know if I mentioned that. So they're mostly cured, but can you see this light is not helping me? Oh, focus. Can you see a couple of white blobs in that one and in that one? That's obviously where it's a bit deeper, tiny bit in there. So the air hasn't quite got to it, and it is not cured yet. So that will cure if I can left it for like another day. But I really want to apply them, so I'm trying to decide if I'm going to apply it and leave them white, because when you look at the reference images, I was trying to decide how I was going to get some of the white in the pustules as it is, so that might be a happy accident. And then the other ones, the hives, they are completely cured because they're much thinner. So I'm thinking to do the shingles like on an ankle or a knee, you know, like where the joint is, the sort of crease, on one of those, and then the hives on my shins. But yeah, I'll show you a little bit of it. I think I'm going to go ahead with the shingles, to be honest, and hopefully they come out and look good, and that's going to be a bit more painstaking to paint, so I want to paint around all the little bubbles. But yeah, I'll show you. We'll see. think probably the last clip I filmed would have been with the compressor, which I said I would talk about more, and then didn't get time to sit down and do it yesterday. But it's Monday now, by the way. Yesterday was Sunday. I was setting that up. My previous compressor was a Hyundai compressor, similar size to the one I bought, I think an 8 litre tank. This is probably really boring technical information, but just to say I'd had the Hyundai one twice before. Is it Hyundai or is it Hyundai? Hyundai? I'd had two of them before. The first one did die, and I think I had probably had it 2 or 3 years, 2 years maybe. So not a massive amount of time, but also not like it wasn't brand new or anything, and it had been worked pretty much most days in that time. Unfortunately, it died in October, which is my busiest time of the year because it's when I get a lot of people outside the industry ordering for Halloween. So in a panic, I didn't have time to like troubleshoot it and figure out the problem. I just ordered another one, and I think they're normally, I think, about £140. So again, not a crazy expense. But I was fully like just throw money at the problem and get another one because I did not have the time. It was already a panic because I was in the middle of orders and I had to dig out an airbrush from my kit, from my makeup kit, which are much smaller guns, and set that up for those orders until the new compressor arrived. I don't know what was wrong with it. I feel like maybe the motor went. I'm not like an expert in compressors and airbrush things. I use them for what I use them for, and I know how to work with them. But if there's a problem, I don't necessarily know how to fix that. So that went to the dump in the end. I was mad at it, so it went. The one after, so maybe that has now been a year and a half. Maybe it would have been 2 years this coming October. That one I know what happened to, because so when making the prosthetics, I spray cat plastic, which I've talked about before. It is mixed with acetone to thin it down so you can spray it, but it is essentially a plastic, and when all the acetone evaporates back out, you're left with a plastic. So that I had sat the gun, the big spray gun, every time I'd finished spraying, turned the compressor off, I was propping the gun on the top of the compressor because it had a handy handle. Little did I know the gun was leaking a little bit, and over time that mixture had leaked into the compressor fan at the back, and of course when it evaporates it turns to plastic, so that went solid and the fan stopped working. And I think I might have showed this in one of my first studio vlogs over on my Patreon, and I think I showed taking it apart and trying to clean out the fan, and did successfully get it working again, but never to the original speed. And it kind of seemed like that was okay, so I was like, I'll just keep using it until it breaks again. I had to replace the gun, the spray gun, due to, I can't remember, the old one just getting too gummed up. They're a bit harder to keep clean, and because I'm churning so much plastic through it, it's better for me to buy more affordable guns and replace them a couple of times a year. So anyway, it was its time, and when I got the new one, it was very spattery. Like I couldn't get a fine mist, which is what I need for spraying. So again, I'm not super expert on these things, so I wasn't really sure. I thought it might be I needed a bigger needle size for the amount for the thickness of the cat plastic I was pumping out. I thought maybe it was getting stuck in the gun because of a thin needle and a thin nozzle. Couldn't change that. It's completely rammed on, so that was great, I thought. But then I was like, oh well, I'm probably not getting enough pressure out of this compressor, am I, that it's giving me, maybe I'll try that. Anyway, long story short, I've bought a new compressor. You've just seen it. It was much cheaper than the already quite affordable Hyundai ones. It was, I think I paid 80, maybe 90, 89, I can't remember. But yeah, just from Amazon. It appealed to me anyway because it's like a goth compressor, but I thought at that price, hopefully I can get a year out of it. And if it turns out to be better, that's brilliant because I save money. Because essentially, I just need the airflow. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. And I am keeping the old one. I'm gonna just pop it, store it under one of those desks. And when I actually get spare time, I'll try cleaning that fan out properly and taking it all apart, taking it more apart than I did the last time to get any remaining plastic out. And maybe that will come back to life and it can be a backup, or it could be used for just like air, or if I'm ever doing anything with an IPA based cat plastic instead of acetone, I can have one set up separately with different guns or something. I don't know, but it'd be good to have a backup and not just ditch it this time. So yes, here we are, Monday again. I have got my first run on. I've got loads of orders actually, and some of the orders have quite a few multiples. And I'm still working on the PAM wholesale order, which I got a bunch of it done last week. And I don't know, maybe I might get it finished this week. We'll see. Other than that, over the weekend, I applied the new shingles makeup. I showed you a bit of the sculpt, I think, in those clips. I applied that, so you can see that on Instagram if you would like. But I don't know if I've got a little clip of it applied. If I do, I'll have put that in already and you'll have seen that. And I also had the hives that I sculpted, but they weren't coming out of the mould properly, the Bondo. When I was pressing it onto the skin, it just wasn't peeling out. So I don't know if I didn't release it well enough, or if I completely forgot to release it potentially. So I don't think I would have, because I was doing everything at the same time, but maybe I missed the Vaseline layer or something. So what I've done is I've just refilled one of the small ones and put it aside to cure. And when that is cured, I'll try applying that. If that solves the problem, then I'll refill all of them. But I have also ordered more Bondo because I'm not sure if I definitely have enough for that now. But yeah, today basically I just need to get all my orders done, so I'm going to be going back and forth quite quickly into the workshop and probably just continue with some other sculpting bits in between. I could start packaging up the wholesale order that's already done, but we'll see how the day goes, and I'll check back in with you in a little bit. Hello, it's Tuesday now. Yesterday was a little bit of a write-off for filming, really. It was so busy. I set myself a near impossible task of getting all those orders out. I can't remember if I even showed you the board, but it was a bit too much to be doing, really. After I last spoke to you, I think I had just put on my first run of the day, got my moulds filled, and had come in to quickly have a chat, sort some things out, and then I went back in the workshop and I didn't leave there until all of the pieces were done. It was kind of warm enough that I could do a table, move on to another table to fill, and go back and forth, and each one would have cured in between. So that was good. Meant I churned it all out, finished that at 2 p.m, came into the studio to like trim them and pin them, which I think I filmed. You may have just seen a clip of that. And that took me 2 hours, and then I had to like bomb it to the post office. Normally the latest I want to leave here is like 3:30. So I was straight to the post office, and now it's Tuesday. I've just walked the dog in the rain, which was a nice start to the day, but I kind of like getting the dog walk out of the way, doing the morning shift. Me and my partner take turns, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. So at least in the morning it's done, and now I don't have to go anywhere. So today I'm not going to the post office. If I'm going to the post office in the afternoon, I can combine that with a dog walk, so that's kind of handy. But when I'm not, it's better to do the morning and then just keep working. Like I said, I got all the orders done yesterday and out, and then I've had maybe 3 or 4 come in since then. So I will do them today. I'll do more wholesale today. I want to start cutting and pinning the wholesale today, and making a big push with that. But first, I'm going to test one of the Hives Bondo molds. I mentioned this, how I went to apply them and the Bondo wouldn't peel out of the mold properly. So I filled a test one yesterday, which should be dry. I'm going to quickly, I'll show you actually, I'm going to quickly just stick that on my hand and see if it comes out fine and comes out easily, because I want reassurance that it was just a lack of release and it's not actually something in the design of the mold that's sucking that Bondo in. My order from Tilt should arrive today, which has a different Bondo in and some other bits. But yeah, let me quickly have a little play with that. We'll see how that goes. So this is the one I filled, so that's cured now because it's gone clear. So I'm literally just going to pop that on the back of my hand. I'm not even going to add glue, because Bondo should be sticky enough without glue. I just add glue for extra security. If it doesn't come out without glue, I will try glue, and if it still doesn't come out, then we have a problem. So just going to quickly clean the back of my hand with some of this Kiehl's Astringent, just if there's any. Well, I have actually just washed my hands after a dog walk, but you know, if there's any residue of soap or sweat or anything, it can stop it sticking. So let's give it the best chance we can. Okay. Let's do it like that. Sometimes you can see through the back, if it's released, you start to see the mould come away. And can you see that? I don't know if the camera is good enough to see that. At the top there, you can see it's going hollow, so that means it has stuck fine. Phew. So then, have I got any IPA here? Yes. So we can actually clean that up quickly. Those thready edges from the release and seal that I like to use. They're very subtle. It just gives you a slight raised shape. I don't know if you can see that when coloured will give that look of hives, and I've got them all in all the different shapes. Great, I'm happy about that. So it means I can at least fill all those again now. My order from Tilt has just arrived, which I mainly ordered for the Bondo. I ordered one of these because I normally get it directly from Neil's, but it's slightly cheaper. I get a small discount from Tilt, so I thought I'd order what they had, and they only had one, so I got that. And then I got a couple of pigments. These are what I add to my silicone when I'm mixing up skin tones. This is the Bondo. I think that was it. Now this, let's get this out of the way and have a look. So this I've never used, but it's another release to use on your molds with your Bondo. This one is PTM. You can't get the other make very easily anymore, so I thought I should start using this, and I just went for clear. And as far as I know, it is just a release, but I don't know if it works the same as this release and seal where it leaves a little film. That's what I'm hoping, but I've got a feeling it's not, because it just calls it a release. There's nothing about sealing. But anyway, I'll give it a go next time I fill some moulds and let you know. It's a very small amount. 1 to 3 drops. Use a brush to spread over the fill area. I found it hard to find information about this online, actually. So it's going to be something that I just have to test and find out. Ready for another day. Got a bunch of things done this week. I've had a few more come in overnight, and this is how the wholesale order is looking. Lots crossed off. I am getting somewhere now. These first ones on this table are those orders I just showed you on the board. Then might be a few repeats I need to do, and then these are more for the wholesale order. So I'm looking pretty good. I can churn a bunch of these out today. So quickly, I've just packed up those orders. You saw me cross off the board. It is midday, so I've got all them ready to go out so I can chill for a bit. Or not chill, I can carry on with my wholesale order, but I don't have to do the rush before the post office because I'll be ready to go. I'm going to box them off in a sec. So these are a few things on this board. There's a right side swollen eye and cheek, so that's that sort of under eye going into a cheekbone here. These are regular swollen eyes, so there's the small eyelids at the top and the under eyes, and you cut them in half to apply. And that's a swollen nose. The kind of swelling sit either side of the bridge of the nose to distort the shape. And then that is a set of medium swellings. We've got exit wound 2, some enhanced lips, the surgery cheekbones, and 2 sets of the botch lips. And then there is a set of Bondo molds that needs to go out that I ran yesterday, so I do need to trim them now quickly. So these are my indented scars 2. I've got 2 sets of them. This is the second set. So hopefully you can see. And this is obviously the opposite of what you're going to see when it's applied on the skin. So because this sticks out in the mould, I'm going to fill it with Bondo if I want to apply it, which means what you then get out of the mould is the exact reverse. So it will be, everything that's raised will be indented when it's in the scar, basically. I'm going to pop these in a little pouch, and then I'm going to get everything boxed up and get back to the wholesale order. So I will catch you a bit later on. Right, it is Wednesday now. Again, I don't think I carried on filming too much. It was just too busy. I also yesterday was so exhausted. I don't know why. I kind of trudged through work, got loads of things made, but also more importantly, I got loads of it cut up, pinned, and packaged. So they're to this stage now. Everything that's done, it just needs labels, really. But I'm gonna finish all the pieces and do the labelling at the end altogether. Yeah, I was knackered when I finished in here. I went to sit on the couch and do some laptop work and just fell asleep. So the evening was a bit of a write-off, which is fine. I try not to work too late into the evenings anyway. I'm feeling better about the wholesale order now. I don't have too much more to do. I really just need to bash it out as long as no big orders come in. I don't know if I'll get it out this week, but I'm confident I'll get it out Monday, the latest. I should really work on some sculpting if I can, but I'm quite happy I've got a few products uploaded over this last month. So you might have seen in the last video, I think it would have been the last video, there was the mosquito bites. Maybe that was the video before. Anyway, there's been mosquito bites, there's been puncture wounds, and then this week the shingles and hives, which are the sets I showed you earlier. And I'm not sure I really filmed anything of them, especially yesterday. Like I said, I was so knackered. Decided to apply them on the front of my shins. Found that really hard to then like get the angle to colour and things. It was annoying. So I didn't even think to really film. I may have got a tiny clip. If I do, I'll put it in. Or you can go to Instagram and see them. Yeah, anyway, I'm going to get back to it. I'm watching season 3 of Yellow Jackets on Paramount. Nearly done with that. I need to find something else to start. Maybe I'll go back to some horror films. Just to quickly show you what came in overnight, there are a couple of big old orders to get done. The wholesale is really coming along. I do need to get a few moulds out, but Pam have added 28 of these. My desk is a disaster as usual. These are all of those orders that I showed you in the last clip actually run, so I just need to trim them and these moulds. Then these moulds are for wholesale as well as all of these pieces, and I have actually packaged up a lot of them now, but there's still loads to do. As you can see, these are the ones that I've already packaged. You can't really tell how much. I'm not gonna mess with it. Okay, I've finished packaging up the orders. It is 12:15 now, so I just need to put them in their boxes really. So there's that big order of gunshot wounds. In fact, there's 2 orders of gunshot wounds. First one has an exit wound 1 and the large contact gunshot wound. There's 3 exit wound 3s, a shotgun wound and large exit wound, and these are in 3 different colours. So this is the caramel, the buttercream and hazelnut. And then the second order has 3 angled entry wounds and 3 more exit wound 1s. So that's those 2 orders. There's 2 sets of medium boils in buttercream. There's also an order that is 2 sets of trypophobia in peach. This is a close range entry wound in peach, Joker Smile, buttercream, and lastly 3 Ragged Scar 2, I want to say, that's latte, and these are hazelnut, and they also have that packet of Healed Scar 1 Bondo molds, which you can't really see in there. So I need to box them and get to the post office, and then I can tackle the mountain of wholesale. Hello guys, Sunday now. I am working today a little bit. I'm going to try and just do packaging, but the week completely ran away with me. I have no idea what I have actually filmed for this vlog, but I have filmed over 2 weeks, so there should be plenty of footage. I just don't know how sort of cohesive it's going to be. I hope there's a bit of flow to it, and yeah, I hope it's got something interesting in there. We shall find out when I come to edit it, which I'd also like to try and at least start today. I don't know if I'll definitely get it up today, but yeah, it's been crazy. I was filming bits and pieces in the week, but then I just suddenly had loads to do. Like more. I already had loads to do, but more than I needed to do. I was obviously chugging through that wholesale order, which I now think I have made everything for, but I need to finish packaging and bits. Then you saw that they added 28 old age eye bags to that order, which I think is for a college. So they're still going. I'm going to try and finish them like tomorrow or maybe Tuesday morning so that it can all go out on Tuesday together. Then I had those big orders come in as well, and they came in on a Thursday, which is always a tricky day for me because I kind of like to finish the week with everything out, or everything out minus the things that have come in like on a Friday. If it comes on Friday, I can't guarantee I can actually make it in time to post. And I suppose if you're ordering on a Friday, you kind of probably expect that it's going to ship next week. But on a Thursday, it's a bit more of a grey area. Like, I like to try and push them out if they come in on a Thursday, so there's not a weekend in between, because then it just feels like a really long time to the customer. Even though my processing times are 1 to 3 working days, having those 2 non-working days in between, it just feels really long. So yes, I like to get Thursday orders out in the same week, but of course they were huge, so that was a lot, but I did get them out. And now I'm gonna spend today packaging the rest of the PAM order, hopefully labelling as well. We'll see how it goes, but I would like to start editing this vlog. I don't know if it will go out today. Maybe next week. I'm going to be a bit more free of it because now we're starting to get towards the busy period. Obviously, there's Halloween, and with the things I make, a lot of people buy around that time. So it gets really, really busy, obviously in October, but also September, and the rush can start from mid-August. So I need to be on my game now, and I don't feel it at all because I'm sitting in this mess. Everything's a disaster. I've got loads of admin to do. I've got all these products I'm meant to be working on, either releasing as I go now or some later in the year. I've got things to sort for the prosthetic event in November, so I'm feeling very behind. But hey, well, there's not really much I can do about that at the moment. I'm just gonna try and work efficiently and probably longer hours. But anyway, thank you for watching. If you've made it all the way through this vlog, I don't know what form it's taken, so you may have fled long ago. But yeah, thanks for watching. Do all the YouTube things, like it, subscribe, press that bell. And yeah, I'll hopefully see you in a week.